welcome back to the program. Can science, technology, and innovation move from policy ambition to measurable national transformation? As governments around the world compete on the strength of ideas, research, and advanced manufacturing, Nigeria is seeking to position innovation at the heart of industrial growth, job creation, and economic diversification. From locally designed engineering solutions and renewable energy technologies to agricultural mechanization and homegrown manufacturing. The National Agency for Science and Engineering Infrastructure, NASENI, says it is accelerating efforts to reduce import dependence and build products designed by Nigerians for Nigerians. But beyond the exhibitions and product showcases, what impact are these innovations having on industry investment and everyday lives? For those of you who voted President Bola Tinubu, perhaps because he made a promise to you that he's going to make industrialize Nigeria, bring science and technology, and make it work for Nigeria, well, it's time to query that. I'm being joined by the the EVC, Executive Vice Chairman, and the CEO of NASENI, Mr. Khalil Halilu, who is live for us here in our studio. Many thanks for joining us today. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Shu. Finally, I'm here, and I remember when you invited me previously, I politely asked you to come and see what we're doing, and that will make a more meaningful interview.
Absolutely. So it was an invitation on a dual invitation. On one hand, your office invited us to come and see. On the other hand, the presidential media team said they were going on this and they wanted media to also come and see. So we went. And the question is that we saw quite a few, quite a lot actually, without trying to exaggerate or underestimate what we saw. From agriculture to videography and photography to tech, innovation and or whatnot. We saw quite, in fact, we saw a helicopter, a mini helicopter that we saw in your compound. Give us an idea, if you can summarize the mandate, because what we know of NASENI is not what we are seeing today.
Well, I think NASENI is quite an interesting agency. If you read through our act, we are one of the very few that is empowered to do technology transfer and commercialize whatever we are doing. But previously, before this administration, it's been mainly about research and prototypes. But the president gave me a specific instruction that we need to commercialize what we are doing. And in fact, our budget, 80% of it currently as it stands, is a counterpart funding. Today, you've met a lot of our partners from different parts of the world that we've built factories together. And for you to access or to utilize our budget, someone has to contribute, and then you match a fund to be able to produce something, which brings about sustainability that we are talking about, create jobs, reduce capital flight, and in certain instances, we even export some of this product to generate foreign exchange.
But give us an idea, the focus areas, or what you have been able to sit down and draft as your area of concentration based on what we saw today. What are your focal points?
So we focus on things that has to do with national security. And security, I'm not talking about weapons or only, but things like renewable, things like data sovereignty, things that has to do with agriculture. And the interesting thing is you see a lot of these sectors, government is deeply involved and is also a big consumer. Today you saw one of our factories that does rapid diagnostic kits. It can account for 80% of Nigeria's consumption. Prior to that, we were importing 90% of our rapid diagnostic kits. So this is biotechnology sovereignty with regards to production. So we look at areas where has some national security effects, that government is also patronizing those products so that we can convince our partners that come to Nigeria, because if you are doing technology transfer, so people will not just give you the recipe completely free. There has to be stages, and they also have to get certain benefits. So It's, you know, you watch my back, I watch your back approach.
So you're working directly with private sector?
Yes, we're working directly with private sector.
So is there any patent that is novel from all of what you did that cannot be seen anywhere in the world?
Yes, so many. For example, like our rapid diagnostic kit is recently been listed by the WHO as one of the interveners for Ebola. And when you were there, you saw it was ISO certified, which is the highest level of certification anywhere in the world. Not long ago, some few weeks back, Harvard sent a team of about 18 people to come and witness that factory because they've been trying to convince African countries.
So you produce it in Nigeria?
Everything.
Or you couple it in Nigeria?
No. you see, that is why I always ask journalists to come to our factory, because we wouldn't be having the same conversation whether, because you've seen it. You've seen everything from scratch. Today, if there is an outbreak of a disease, we just need a sample. And within 24 hours, we'll be able to produce a kit that can test positive or negative or something like that.
Pause there for a moment. In 2019 and thereabout, there was an outbreak of COVID.
Yes.
Nigeria was scrambling, and so were other countries. Test kits, even face masks, they were a problem.
Yes.
And in fact, China, America, they were giving in donation to countries to be able to help people stay alive. Are you saying that Nigeria can locally fabricate its own face mask, test kits from start to finish as we speak?
Of course, Sheon, and you were there today. You saw it from start to finish, and so many other journalists were there. They saw our test kit factory from start to finish, ISO certified. And like I mentioned, it's on the internet. You Google NASENI Harvard or NASENI WHO Ebola. We are listed in the world. I think there are only about 4 companies that are listed to tackle the issue of test kits around
So
Ebola.
this is patented, confirmed, proof of the models are ready, and you are now mass producing them. Is that right?
100%.
Apart from this test kit, what are the other things that you might? Is that the only thing that is novel?
No, we have so many other factories. We have the NASENI Center of Excellence, which we call it Factories for Factories. This factory produces things like molds that you use to make like bottled water, produces special parts for, let's say, military vehicle, for even maybe your car brake pad and things like that. So basically it's like a 3D printing, but for metals. Today, if you have a factory that is producing, let's say, slippers or water bottle, and the mold cracks or breaks down, you have to go to China to fix it. It takes 6 months minimum, and you're out of production. But with NASENI Center of Excellence, in a week, you know, we can do that for you. We have a lot of companies that outsource things for us, from motorcycle parts, machinery, equipment. And there's this program we're running called the National Asset Restoration Program, which we recovered 2,000 tractors that were moribund, and we put them back into use. So factories like that support that kind of thing. And of course, we have the renewable factory where we have solar assembly, we have the irrigation equipment assembly. We also have the solar panel factory in Ogun. And today you saw, which you didn't know we were involved with Imose, where we're producing the NASENI laptops that the Credit Corps is distributing. Just recently they distributed.
And mobile phones too,
tablets, you know.
I met Imose, one of the founders of Imose today, and he told me that he's Nigerian.
Yes.
So it's been pushed by NASENI.
Yes, definitely.
Now, how many technologies developed by NASENI are only Nigerian?
What?
Only, that totally Nigerian.
So the whole idea is not to build something 100% Nigerian. In fact, we are against that. But we want to see what is Nigeria, why does Nigeria have an edge? And then we play that. Because that is what you use to equalize the other parts of, you know, globalization. Today, if you look, one of the biggest technology companies in the world, Apple, they don't even produce in the US. You know, they just design in the US, and you can see
design in California,
produced in China and in India, and you can see how much impact is made. And slowly we're discovering
because of the cost of. There's a reason.
Yes, they have a patent for the design. They also have the market. They own the
China,
technology, right?
You have the leverage of labor.
Of labor and mass production. But that is changing gradually. Because one of our partners, for example, the one that we're doing the solar street lights, they realize that it is cheaper to bring knockdown parts of the lamp and do some of the components here locally and even export it than even produce it in China.
Okay.
Because these things occupy space in the container. But if you bring it closer to the market and assemble it, you know, then you have an edge. So by doing that, you see, we create jobs
Khalid,
for
let me
our
ask
people.
you, what do you think in NASENI that you can tell Nigerians tonight that satisfactory Nigeria can produce for Nigeria without importation? What do you think we can, that NASENI has the capacity? You say you have factories in Lagos, factories in Abuja. What do you think that you can tell Nigerians today? You don't need importation of this thing, and we can be self-sufficient in the production of it, that NASENI is behind.
Well, number one, if you are talking about the high precision factory, we can be self-sufficient easily. It's been proven. We've got to market without any, it's B2B. We've got to market without any advert, and we are constantly having tons of orders for our NASENI Center of Excellence. Our rapid diagnostic kits, thanks to Minister of Health, is giving us a lot of orders, you know, based on presidential this thing. We also have the coal fertilizer, which is coming up. We have the liquid fertilizer, and so many other. In terms of assembly too, we are doing the NASENI racks. What people don't realize is when you buy a solar panel, it says it has a life of 30 years. It all depends on the rack that you put it. If you put it on a rusty rack or the wrong kind of metal frame, number one, you won't even get the right angle. Number two, over time, as the frame is rusting, it's going to affect the panel. But this is the first rack factory that we're producing.
Yeah, because I
Nigeria.
saw that I saw some solar enabled ACs.
Yes.
I'd seen it somewhere. I think you partner with Nigos. I saw some inverters and
retire.
And I saw some vehicles also that are electronic vehicles. But I'm wondering, where can anybody walk, where can we walk into? Do you have a warehouse? Do you have an outlet? Do you have a retail store where we can see what NASENI is producing? I know where to go and buy an Apple phone or Apple computer, but where can we get NASENI products?
Well, we have the NASENI showroom. You know,
where is that?
On the Kubwa Expressway, this Asokoro Kubwa Expressway, which today I've taken your colleagues. You know, they spend a lot of time there. But you also need to understand that as government, we have to create opportunities for others. We don't want to do factories of factories, and then all the way to retail and distribution. So the whole idea of the showroom is for people to come and experience the products, and then we appoint average Nigerians to become distributors of our products, so that we further stimulate, you know, the economy. Most of our sales now are B2B, but the next phase is to appoint key distributors so that they can take it to, you know, Enugu, Sokoto, you know, and then continue to sell this product.
In all of this, and because President Bola Tinubu made a huge promise about science, because you're not the Minister of Science and Technology, I will spare you with all of those promises, because I'm going to focus on what NASENI is doing. He made a lot of promise. Jobs, reduce importation, encourage local manufacturing. The policy of government will help to keep some of these on the ground, and for Nigerians to be able to use Nigerian-made, homegrown product and be able to end-to-end, be able to rely on them. Are you hoping that at some point there might be a policy change such that the appetite for imported products in tech and science will also allow these homegrown products to thrive?
Definitely, that's the only way, you know, because we travel all over the world to shop for partners. We see they have factories that are working, and we ask them, come and do technology transfer with us. The only question they're going to ask, what kind of policy are you putting in place to support that? And I'll give you an example. With the health product, thank God the Minister of Health is on our board. It makes things a lot easier. We can present it to the board that this company is willing to invest in Nigeria, but this is the kind of support that they expect. Another policy example is with regards to vehicles, the balance between hybrid, electric vehicles, petrol vehicles, people that we convince to come and set up factories together with us. Of course, they wouldn't want imported vehicles to be at par in terms of custom duty and the likes. And we work with the likes of Minister of Trade, Minister of Finance, to see how we can adjust those tariffs, because we are also investors, and that is the whole essence. When NASENI invests together with this, we are in the same boat and we feel the same heat, and we can push for other government arms to make the right policy.
One of the criticism of industrial policy in Africa is that countries celebrate assembly imported components while core technologies remain foreign owned. Can you confidently say NASENI is building indigenous intellectual property, or are we still largely dependent on imported designs and technologies?
Well, one interesting thing about Nigeria is you must localize. You must domesticate, otherwise you won't be able to sell. We've seen it happen in so many fields. From our fintech, you see the likes of Visa backing the Flutterwaves, the Paystacks, and so on. So Nigeria, by design, if you don't domesticate your products, you don't even have a market. So, which is a very, very big advantage. And that's why we follow the, the steps of technology transfer, domestication, and commercialization. You do technology transfer with us. We have enough engineers local that understand the market to help you domesticate. And then we also work together with you to commercialize. And I think people need to understand that every country has a competitive advantage. You need to understand your own competitive advantage and play it out. Our population is not a joke, and people understood that you can't just come into Nigeria and do as you want. You need a local player. And if you have a local player that is helping you optimize cost, better. If you have a local player that is helping you with policy, better. If you have a local player that knows the inroads to the market, even better. But we should depart from the thinking that we should do things 100% local, because now the world is flat. There are countries like Dubai that just try to bring people together, not even try to do production. And look at where they've gone. They are the likes of Singapore, where they were assembling. They started with HP printers. When China started, they were simply copying. People were laughing. So
the fact remains that there are some of us who are very proud of Nigerian-made stuff. You know of Sheyi Vodi, who is into clothes, and you can proudly wear Sheyi. And I remember getting to, I think it was England, as soon as I got off the plane, some white folk who walked up to me. I was wearing a trouser made by a young lady here in Abuja at Rare Haven, a very young lady who started all by her business, now open 2 outlets in Abuja here. And the fellow was asking me about what I was wearing. He loved it. He loved the fabric. He loved what I was wearing. Nigerians will be proud of wearing things that there was those days that people would say Chinese product, and which meant inferior. But now Nigerians can also wear and carry, in Mose, for example, a tablet, carry, go around with Nigerian-made solar-enabled ACs, vehicles, and be able to know that this is available. And there are those who will say, Khalil, can you open Nigerian-made, homegrown stores where retail all of these products? Because you can't have run these enterprise without Nigerians having access to it, where we can say proudly homegrown, proudly Nigerian, NASENI product, and let Nigerians be able to take advantage of that. Is that possible? Are you making that promise?
Definitely, we're making that promise and we are delivering. And I'll give you an example. Part of the electric vehicles that you came and saw today, if not for a Nigerian design, it wouldn't have survived the terrain. It was something modeled close to the Toyota Hilux, but if you remember, it has 2 tanks, one for the battery and another for the petrol. Because the Nigerian engineer on our team that domesticated that product understood that you want to travel to the village, maybe you don't have electricity to charge it. So we create an extra tank that in cases, where you don't have, for emergencies, you use it. But then when you are back to the city where you can charge your car. So little things like that, the foreigners will not understand it. And anytime we have those cars, they're completely sold out.
Those keke, the tricycles and the bicycle. I mean the motorcycles.
Yeah, you saw.
They are locally they are coupled.
Assembled. Yes.
They are assembled here.
Yes.
Do we have what it takes to be able to, from end to end, start to finish, produce such a thing here in Nigeria?
Yes.
Or not yet?
No, yes, you can do it because KK is not so complicated. But the question you ask yourself is whether you want to spend time trying to do something completely local or play your own advantage. So I'll give you an example. If there's a component of the KK that you are going to be able to produce and worldwide you are the cheapest, you can use that to equalize other things. We are recently running a program with MIT in Kano and Jigawa around irrigation. And one of the arguments is maybe there are things growing in our environment that we throw away, that we don't know it's of high value, that we could harvest and this thing. And if I can sell that at a higher price than rice, why should I bother growing? I can let Thailand grow rice because they have a natural advantage of their environment, and then find ways to equalize it. So the key here is always look at what you are best at and then play it. For example, our musicians.
We're totally out of time. Khalil Alilu is the EVC NASENI. Well, congratulations and well done. We want to see more, and we will be on your case until we see more. Thank you so much indeed.
Thank you
I appreciate
very much.
it.